got teased by this one today, my friends. So, Gibson Custom, made to measure, has the interesting title of Other Half Kindred Burst, listed as a Custom Shop 58 reissue, which if you're not familiar, those are about $5,300, and you can choose between plain tops of Bourbon Burst, Iced Tea Burst, Lemon Burst, as well as Washed Cherry Sunburst. I don't document many 58s, but can you guys point out why I might have wanted this particular one? It's such an interesting dark burst. It reminds me a little bit of some of the darker original bursts, as well as like some 70s tobacco sunburst vibes. But on top of that, as far as plain tops go, this one's super ringy. I like that. And to make matters even great, this really reminds me of an Ace Frehley guitar with the whole double cream pickups, and I would love to pay tribute to the man with a full review and documentation. But now here's the real kicker. It was a screaming deal, $3,400. That's not too bad. It was labeled as brand new. I thought, well, maybe it's used, and that was a mistake. As I checked out the shop, they had 5-star reviews, thousands of them even. Over 900 guitars currently listed on Reverb, and most importantly, all the backgrounds match, so we know this is a legit shop. So I checked out, hoping and praying that maybe we just might get that guitar. Let's just say I wasn't surprised when I got this email. I've been refunded. They said this listing is an error. But what probably happened is whatever program they used to sell their shop's inventory, it accidentally listed it at dealer cost, because that's the only thing that would make sense to me. Because I looked it up on the shop's website. It initially sold at a premium of $6,800. Makes sense because it was made to measure, and it's already sold, but it was a good weight even, 8 pounds. But more exciting is we can see more photos of this gorgeous beauty. So the nice thing about plain tops is, despite the name, usually there's still some chatoyant movement and flame going on. You can tell that's got a little bit of everything on there. And something about that color scheme with that wood grain, it really spoke to me. But now we're seeing that the back is a nice cherry aniline dyed red. No funny business with our headstock, just regular 58 reissue stuff here. Although a stinger would have been really cool. But judging by the serial number, that was a 2025 creation. While I was on their website just now, I'm noticing a $5,000 aged Pelham Blue Les Paul Custom. That appears to be a normal custom because we've got the Nashville style bridge. Although I wonder if it's more modern. It looks like we had some scratches on the pick guard. It's got the reissue style tuners, well, although slightly modified with the hex. Nah, maybe it's just a made to measure or something, because this serial number can mean 2014. It can also mean 2024. Based on what I'm seeing here, I would guess 24, but we haven't seen the case and other things, which are very pertinent details in order to properly identify a guitar. Let's see what they say. They got a 2023 in there. If you come up to the serial number, that would mean the 138th stamped on 2024, so it probably started life in 2023. But this next one I've never seen before. Look, somebody had a good idea. Special order, Les Paul Custom Candy Apple Red Widow. Okay. I've always loved the Widow series of guitars. I think we've talked about it enough on the show. It's when they spray over the binding, they don't scrape it off, and then they put a new clear coat on it so it stays. It's a singular color guitar for the most part. They're really cool in limited batch numbers. And despite my love for the originals, I feel they're overproduced in 2025. They're not all that special anymore. However, somebody decided to do Candy Apple Red. That's new. Usually it's some sort of a transparent finish with a figure top. But then, additionally, they decided to let the back and sides still be translucent on this particular one. So you get a little bit of the best of both worlds, metallic and see-through wood grain on the back with the colored over red binding. That is a really interesting idea. I'd like to see more of these, and inevitably we will. We'll see the green, we'll see the orange, we'll see the purple. At least it's a new version on a Widow, not just the same thing over and over again. You just don't see Candy Apple Red too often at a Gibson anymore, because it's a very labor-intensive finish. Because you can do a gold base coat, or you can do a silver. Looking at this, I would bet that's a silver. But as per usual, we get our red headstock and a little bit of gold going on. That one was produced in late 2025, so fresh off the presses, with a custom shop style case. And that one's listed by Guitar Sloth if you're interested. They are firm at $6,600. But hey, if you want a pro tip, if you just watch the listing, sometimes you'll get a private offer for X amount off. Which, by the way, if you're interested in anything in my Reverb shop, as part of the Watch and Win sweepstakes, Reverb has given me a promotional coupon code that I can send out to you only if you're watching the listing and you have your account set up to receive those private offers. Usually you just heart it and wait about an hour and it'll show up. The next guitar we're going to talk about was listed by Rudy's Music. I made him an offer and I bought this thing. So this is just a nice sneak peek for you guys. I would say about 3 weeks we'll finally get to review an SG Diablo, but this is one of the Premium Plus versions. And I've got to say, whoa, that finish and that top with their promise that it looks even better in the flesh. I'm excited for that thing. That looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're new here, feel free to subscribe. You don't have to watch the internet videos. I do tons of reviews and demos as well. Next up, we're going to have a block of SGs. I always like to check these things out because occasionally you get unique wood grain because, you know, despite what we just saw, usually SGs don't have crazy figure tops. And if they do, they've messed with its construction and not everybody likes them as much. But this one caught my attention, A, because sideways vibrola, but look at this really pale streak in the wood right here. Due to that, the aniline dyes that usually get bunched up here and give you that dark evilness doesn't apply, and it just kind of looks like a wishbone or something going on. If I had to hazard a guess, just looking at this photo, I think we also have some uneven fading going on, because look, that's really red right here, but this is like bleached out. Same thing's true over here. In fact, I'm curious. Yeah. That's super dark back there. Somebody had that where the sunlight could still get to it. And to be fair, that thing's probably about 4 years old at this point because that's a late 2021. But that's a custom shop being offered for $36. Our next one being offered by Liberty Music is a 63 special, but it's brand spanking new 3600. Custom shop juniors and specials, they're very niche. Not everybody gets them. They're very expensive for what they are, but if you love what they do and you want something that's brand new, not vintage, they do serve a market. But this one has got a little bit of streakiness. Not the craziest we've ever seen, but enough to catch your eye. Something about SG specials in general, the P90 pickups in the early special format. I don't like the Batwing pickguard SG specials as much, but that's just my own personal preference. But another thing I'm noticing on this one is look how much lighter the mahogany is on the neck as compared to the body down here. Oh, we've got some cool V patterns over here, and it looks nice in that case. But they listed more than one today. I would say I like this one maybe a little bit better, because if you come down here, this looks to me like there's a little mouth, there's an eye here and an eye there, but it's like a girl who has, or a guy, I guess you could say, that has like some bangs or hair in his face and then it just like randomly sticks up over there. Or perhaps that's a shadow being casted and that's just a cartoon dude. What's important is the grain speaks to you. That's all you got going for cosmetically on these SGs, really. And while I cannot confirm, it looks like you might have some chatoyant movement in this mahogany. But scrolling through all these photos, what I would suggest this shop do, I know they're trying to be artsy fartsy and look nice, and I appreciate shots like this like no one else, but I want to see it straight on too. So maybe they could add that to their repertoire. And to continue our SG kick, I saw this one a couple of days ago, listed by Steve. $2,500 Gibson USA. I can tell you that was likely added, or somebody added a new screen printing. But I like this grape slushy purple mauve color going on here. But oh boy, somebody needs to put a tenon cover on that thing. But oh, that's interesting. It's even got finish checking. So you know it was refinished in nitro most likely. And usually I'm a big supporter of, yeah, leave your fancy stickers on the pickguard. It makes it look new old stock. But when it's aged, it's like, I don't know about that. As far as refinish jobs go, it's interesting. Yeah, there we go. 2021. Swapped out our tuners. I'm curious, is that actually a sticker or did he put that in on Photoshop? Need to get some string trimmers up here and it looks like our truss rod got sprayed over in new paint. And oh, cool. This is the reason why refinished guitars are usually worth half as much because you never know what's hiding under there. Like, you know, guys like Steve, they're upfront and honest. They're going to tell you about it even though they could easily hide it and just feign innocence if you were to strip it down to refinish and then find it. So good job, Steve. And you know what, since we just keep talking about SGs, let's cover this one tonight. This is known as an SG Elegant and Iguana Burst from 2004. I've got this one personally saved in my watch list because I'm waiting for that private offer or price drop. It may be not the most crazy quilt top I've ever seen, but it looks pretty nice in that dark green with a little bit of black mixed in between. That just captures the element so beautifully. And then if you missed it, you also get abalone inlays on this elegant model. So that just ties in with the gold because you get a little bit of yellow and green. And at this particular angle, that thing is just looking on fire. Although if you've watched my SG Elegant documentations in the past, you know there's at least two different versions. There's the one like this, where it's got the abalone inlays and the nice figure top, but it has just a regular headstock. And then the other version, which came later, they widowified the headstock and made it green. Or red, you know, whatever color you're doing, blue. So this is a great one for somebody who doesn't want to go too far, but still wants a really fancy SG. So feel free to beat me to it. I just thought it'd be fun to document. Man, look at that with that dark purple case in the back. That's a perfect shot to end tonight's episode on. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow with a Fab review. One of the Fab 4, that is.